All right. All right, guys. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? So we are going to start in another 5 minutes. So before we start, just a very common procedure. So I need to make sure that you guys can see me and you guys can hear me. All right. So if you can hear me, give me a yes, please. If you can see me, give me a yes, please. All right. So I want to make sure that everything is clear, everything is working. All right. Okay. Yes, thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy. So I see some familiar names here. I see Elise, Aso. All right, and also Alvin, Lindo. Hi. Thanks for attending this weekly live market analysis. And yeah, we are going to do this market live analysis on a weekly basis and on the same time as well, because why we want to just share some trading ideas for you guys, so you guys are more prepared on the coming week. And okay, one thing is that don't take any advice here for granted. All right, you are welcome to discuss with us about your analysis or your view, or you can just compare our analysis with your analysis to filter out the potential pair to trades on this coming week. All right, hi Bram, hi Raiden, hi Alvin, hi Andy. So we are going to start in another 3 minutes. So when I go along the analysis, okay, please make sure that if you have any question, please just put on the comment below. So we are going to go through that after I share my after I share my analysis for the currency pair. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. All right, so can you guys see the screen? If you guys can see the screen, give me a yes, please. So I want to make sure everything is smooth, everything is clear. Okay, if you guys can see the screen, give me a yes, please. I need to ensure that you guys can see everything clear and can hear everything clear. Okay, thanks for the response and the SLV analysis. All right, okay, so there are 2 minutes to go, but I'm going to start now, all right? Okay, so as usual, I'm going to start everything from my favorite pair, which is the euro dollar. Okay, I always start trading with euro dollar, or I will say this: I always start to share from the dollar pair and the Japanese pair, and then only the cross pair, and lastly only the commodities. All right. So I have just go through the market just now. So I see on this coming week they are pretty quite off. They are pretty. I think a few pairs for us to prepare for a very good entry setup with a very clear market direction. Okay, so let us start from this euro dollar pair. So, okay, let us start from the weekly chart for this week. All right, so we start on the weekly chart. So on this weekly chart, we can see that the euro dollar pair is still in a very clear downtrend because market is keep on doing a lower low and also a lower high. But on the daily chart, what we can see is that market is in a very clear sideways movement. And on last week, I was expecting that market going to break this level of support. All right, so last week market should be starting from. Okay, last week market should be starting from here. And on Monday, we see a very strong bullish candle push the market up. And the nearest resistance zone is about here. All right. Okay, so this is something of something extra or something just my practice lah. Okay, so when you guys are drawing the SNR, remember to draw that the recent at least two nearest support and resistance. So you know that you will have a better idea on how the market is likely going to be reaching that reaching that SNR zone. So remember that when a resistance zone is broken, market will be looking for the next resistance zone. All right, this is a very common market nature. So when a zone is broken, we need to seek or we need to find that where is the nearest resistance zone if the market is broken up or the market drop down. We need to look for where is the nearest support zone. Okay, so to make things clear, I will just delete this and this. Okay, so looking on a daily time frame, we can see the market is still in a very clear sideways condition because if market was to back to the uptrend, we will not see a rejection here. So what we see on the H4 chart is that the sideways structure is even clearer on the H4 chart. So what we can do this week is that we can look for a sell entry. All right. So and also one of my practice is that I always like to entry after a market pullback. Okay. So meaning that I'm going to wait for market to pull back and I'm going to look for a sell trade here. All right, somewhere around here. And the stop loss, I will just put 10 pips above the SNR zone. And my take profit level will be on the previous low. So on this euro dollar pair, this week I'll be looking for a sell trade. And of course, there is no 100% guarantee here. So what if the market breaks above? If the market breaks above, if the market just break above, what I do is that I'll be waiting for a retest and I'll be waiting for a sell trade here. I will be waiting for a buy trade or buy signal when market retest this specific sideways structure. All right. But looking at this, because of the weekly chart, market is still on a downtrend, and also on the H4 chart, we see a very clear sideways structure, and we see the rejection, meaning that we see the market is being rejected down again. So I will expect market to pull back, and I'm going to go for another sell setup or sell trade on this euro dollar pair. All right, so let us move to the next currency pair, the pound dollar. Okay, the pound dollar on the weekly chart as well, we can see that the weekly chart is also in a very clear downtrend. Okay, we can see that weekly chart is in a very clear downtrend. This is the weekly chart trend line, meaning that markets is staying below the trend line. Okay, and also on the daily chart, if you are trading with the pound pair, you'll somehow notice that this pound dollar and the pound yen, both of this currency pair, they are sharing about the same behavior. All right, I can say that the behavior is about 80% to 90% similar. Okay, so let us look on this pound dollar. What we can see is that the recent biggest movement is at here. This is the biggest movement recently, which is a movement downwards. Okay, and if we put our Fibonacci, we can see the market has retested this 61.8 zone. So if you are trading with Fibo, this is our zone for our entry. Okay, so what we do is that we zoom into the smaller time frame, and we can see that this level is also a double top and also a double top breakout. Okay, because this is the support that turns into a resistance level. And we can see the market structure even clearer on the H4 chart. Okay. So for my mastermind group, they are able to catch the entry by using the swing point entry. Okay, because we have the swing point breakout over here. All right, and we have our pending order trigger. Okay, so on the H4 chart, we can see the market is still in a very strong downtrend. Okay, so I will expect market to do a very small pullback because we can see that the momentum for selling is quite strong. We have continuously a few bearish candlestick here, and even on the H1 chart, we can see the market just move in a very smooth downtrend condition. All right, market just do a downward movement, correction, and downward movement, and also correction. Okay, so I will expect market to retest this daily low, meaning that this daily previous support zone before market going to change the trend. Okay, so on the H4 chart or on the H1 chart, what I will do is that I'll be waiting market to pull back. I will be targeting somewhere around here, the nearest structure or the nearer SNR level. All right, and continue to look for a sell setup for this pound dollar. Okay, so let us see on the Aussie dollar. For Aussie dollar this week, I will be keep in view first. So the reason is because that market is still in this daily resistance level over here, and we still do not have a very valid. I don't see a valid sell setup on the daily chart unless we are going to enter based on the H4 chart. So based on the H4 chart, we can do our entry over here. All right, we can place our entry here. Stop loss just right above the daily resistance level, and for the target profit, we just take about 1 to 1 will be good. All right, because the reason is because that we do not see any valid sell setup on the daily chart. But on the H4 chart, we have a sell setup here. This is our swing point setup here, combined with also the daily resistance zone. So if you are going to short this Aussie dollar pair, you can place for a sell entry here. So another tips for you guys, okay, because we have so many currency pair on the market. So let's say we are going to trade let's say we are going to trade dollar pairs. All right, my recommendation is that we do not trade all the dollar pair. All right, we find the best dollar pair to trade with. Let's say we back to the analysis. All right, let's say we have this euro dollar. According to my technical analysis, this euro dollar is going to be on a downtrend, and also the pound dollar is going to be on a downtrend as well. So how do I choose between the euro dollar and also the pound dollar? All right, we can use the euro yen and also the pound yen as another cross checking. Okay, if we see on the euro yen, all right, which is also going to be on my next analysis, if we see on the euro yen, we can see that there is a support structure over here. All right, and if we look on the chart pattern over here, this is also an inverted head and shoulder, and meaning that there is a potential for market to retest previous level of resistance before continue to drop. All right, this is for the euro yen. So if we look on the pound yen, on the daily chart, we can see that market has completed the breakout and also retest, and we can see that the selling or the seller momentum has started to come in. So if you're going to trade between the euro dollar and the pound dollar, my opinion will be I will be going for the pound dollar. All right, because on the euro dollar is going to drop, but on the pound on the euro dollar is going to drop, but on the euro yen, I will see that there will be some possible retracement upwards or possible pullback upwards. So I would go for the pound dollar or the pound yen instead. All right, so let us back to this this euro yen pair. Okay, oops, never mind, I draw back. Okay, this is the recent level of support which I can see. Okay, and what do I expect is that on the H4 chart, market has actually did a breakout. Okay, so how do we identify a solid breakout? You guys are good now to attend this weekly live analysis because you can learn everything on this analysis. All right. Okay, so you can learn something new. Okay, how to identify a solid breakout? Okay, we need to have a very strong bullish candle that close above the structure. Okay, we do not take pin bar downwards or doji into consideration. We base on the candlestick pattern. The best is that we have a very fully body engulf or a very strong body with a very minimum shadow or wick, or with a very minimum shadow. And the best is that we have 2 or 3 continuously consecutive breakout candle which are in the same color. Okay, so this is a valid breakout. So on the way back to the daily chart, so I have seen something on the daily chart is that if we are going to put on something like a trend line, okay, so I will see that market is possible to retest higher because we also have one more SNR at this level before market continue to drop. Before market continue to drop further. Okay, so for this pound yen, this week I will just be KIV first because the overall market structure is still down, but I see that there is some possible pullback over here. So if there is a valid sell setup here, I will be going. Sorry, if there's a valid buy setup here, I'll be going to look for the buy setup. But I will prefer market to do a higher pullback before I continue to short this pair. All right. So we back to the pound yen. Okay. pound yen, if you look on a daily chart, is quite similar. The market structure or the market behavior is quite similar to what pound yen does. All right, so if we look on a daily chart, you can see that market have a very strong downwards movement, pull back, and this is also Fibonacci 61.8 area, about there, 61.8 to 50 area, and market do a head and shoulder. This is a very, very obvious head and shoulder that we can see, and retest and continue to drop. Okay, so what I expect is that same as the pound yen, same as the pound dollar, I would expect market to retest back this previous daily low. It's just a matter of time. And on the H4 chart, what we can do is that we can wait for another pullback and look for the sell entry to this previous daily low. So this is on the pound yen. All right, so the dollar Canadian pair on daily chart is still in an uptrend, and we have corrective movement or retracement movement, or in a very big sideways movement since March, meaning that we have about 2 months of sideways movement. So if we look on the H4, what we can see is that market is still in a very clear sideways movement. All right, sideways movement. But if we look on the H4 structure, we can see that there is actually a double bottom or head and shoulder pattern here. All right, it can be, this can be a double bottom or can be a head and shoulder as well. Let me change the color. Okay. Okay, this can be a double bottom and also a head and shoulder pattern as well. So what we do is that if you are going to look for a buy entry, it's better for you to wait at this neckline and neckline zone here. Wait for market to pull back here, and your take profit should be on the top of the sideways, and the stop loss should be just right below the sideways structure. Okay, so this is my view for the dollar Canadian pair. Okay, Aussie yen. Aussie yen on the daily chart. Okay, so on the daily chart, we still see a very clear uptrend movement here, but market is now at this previous daily resistance zone. Okay, so it's almost similar with what the Aussie dollar does. So I will wait for a better confirmation, or I will wait for a clearer confirmation before I go for any entry. Okay, so remember to bear in mind that there are so many pairs on the market. So when you are confused or you have any doubt, just skip that pair. We look for another pair. All right, we don't be stubborn on trading. We have to move on. Okay, so this Euro Aussie. Okay, Euro Aussie, if you look on the daily chart, market is now at the previous daily support zone, resistance zone that turns into a support zone. But if you look on the H4 chart, okay, we still, okay, there is a buy setup over here. This one is on previous week. If we are trading with the swing buy setup, this has hit the take profit at this level before market just drop back. Okay, this is some counter trend setup that how to use using the swing points. Okay, so but if we are looking back on the market overall structure, we can see that market is still in a very strong downtrend. Okay, so I will expect market to retest this previous low. So I will not advise you to go for a sell trade, but I will wait for another buy setup at this previous low. Okay, so The same point also for this Euro Aussie pair, I will just KIV for this week. And for the New Zealand yen pair, okay, for the New Zealand yen pair, market on the daily chart is still in a very strong downtrend. The same go to the weekly chart, is still in a downtrend. And on daily chart or H4 chart, we can see there is a sideways structure here. All right, if we look on H4 chart, there is still a sideways structure over here. Okay, sideways structure, and I see that there is a potential trade setup for us to go for an entry. Okay. All right, so this is how the swing points setup works. Okay. Oh, should be here. All right. Market has retraced back. Okay. Now, if we go on the H1 chart, there is also a minor SNR over here. So what we do is that we can use a pending sell order on here. With a stop just right above the sideways zone. Okay. And the target take profit at the low of the sideways zone. We have about 1 to 2.8 risk and reward ratio. So this is my call for the New Zealand yen for this pair. For this week, I will still be looking for a sell trade. Okay, so last but not least, we look on the gold. Okay, gold. For gold, I still did not see. I still did not see any chance for us to go for a short trade. Okay, and if you look on the H4 chart, there is a sideways market breakout, and market is currently retesting here. And on the H4 chart, if you know about dominant setup, there is a potential pair. There's a potential chance for market to break this goal on H4 chart. There's a potential for a goal to have a bullish dominant setup here. So if we see a candle close above this, if we see a candle that close above this, must be a bullish candle. What we do is that we are going to wait for the pullback here, and I'll be going for a buy trade. My take profit will be the previous stop about 1762, and my stop loss will be just right below the shadow of this dominant setup. Okay, this setup only works if we see a valid dominant setup. Okay, we only trade after market show us the confirmation. Okay, we do not predict or we do not trade on what we are thinking the market is going to do. We only trade on what market shows us. Okay. All right, so these are the analysis for this week. You guys have any pair that want us to give some ideas or give some opinions, you can just comment on the section below here. And for Andy, okay, I just saw your comment. So we only covers on currency pair. Okay. On stock trading, I believe there are still some other fundamental issue like PE ratio, etc., for us to take into consideration. Okay. You guys have any pair that needs us to give some advice? You can just put on a comment below. I will be going through here. Okay. Euro, okay, Euro pound. Okay, Euro pound, okay, personally, I not really trade this pair, okay. Okay, just some sharing on my experience, okay. I used to trade this pair, but I personally I don't really trade this pair. Okay, because why? Because on the trading market we have New York market, the London session, and also the Asia session. Okay, when the London when the market will have the biggest movement is that when the sessions overlap with each other. I should draw bigger. Okay, so both euro and the pound pair they are on the London session. So meaning that I seldomly I trade the same pair on the same session, because if you compare the market movement, there will be least movement. Okay, so this is just my opinions or my experiences. Okay, so if we look on this euro British pound pair on technical basis, what we can see is that market did a very strong impulsive impulsive movement upwards, and also market retraced back to the Fibonacci 61.8 zone. And on this zone, we can see that this is also a double bottom. All right, we can see the first bottom and the second bottom over here. Double bottom combined with the sideways movement. This is the sideways. This is the sideways structure, and market just break out. You see, market just break out with a very strong bullish candle. So I will still expecting that euro to be strong and the pound to be weak. So if market did a pullback over here, we can go for a buy setup. If we are looking for a long term, market is likely to retest this previous level or this previous daily high. Okay, so if we look on the H4 chart, H4 chart, okay, this is also the nearest SNR that we can see. This is also the nearest SNR that we can see. So I would advise you to wait for a pullback and before you go for a buy entry. Okay. Okay, let's the next one. Alvin. Okay. CADJPY. Okay. CADJPY. Okay, let me. CADJPY, I remember market is still in the daily sideways movement, but on here I see that there is a potential breakout, head and shoulder breakout here, and there is also a swing point breakout combined with the engulfing candlestick pattern. So if we zoom into a smaller time frame, okay, market has actually break out the H4 SNR over here. Let's just draw out the zone here, SNR zone over here, and market has retested here. Okay, you can go for a long, you can go for a sell. You can go for a buy trade with a very safe stop loss just right below here. Right below here, and the safe take profit target will be just above the sideways structure. Or to be safe on extra confirmation is that we can wait for market to break the swing point here, and only we go for the buy entry. This is we have double and triple confirmation. Okay, so on UCAD H4 UCAD I have explained just now. So we are going for a buy trade on UCAD with a target with the sideways structure over here. Okay, silver. Let us see silver. I not really trade commodities pair, all right, but I can analyze based on the technical basis. Okay, silver, if we look on, let's start on a weekly chart because I not really trade this pair. Okay, silver, if we look on the weekly chart, market has been sideways for some weeks, for some time, and market did a breakout of the sideways structure, and now market is retesting this sideways structure. And on a daily chart basis, market has now in the resistance zone. Okay, if we look on the H4 chart, we can see that you can go for a sell trade technically with a very strict stop loss just right above the resistance level, and the take profit on this nearest support level. Okay, so this is on the silver pair. Okay, so Andy says that on the pound Aussie pair, there is an opportunity to long since at support zone and bullish engulfing. Okay, let us look on this pound Aussie pair. Okay, for pound Aussie, if we draw everything, okay, if we draw the SNR for this pair, okay, when the price is in the support zone, we have to bear in mind that although we are having a practice on, we are going to buy low and we are going to sell high, and we are using support and resistance to determine our market lows and also market high. But this okay, there are some traders that just put pending orders on the SNR level, but for me, I don't really practice this. Okay, because I'm a type of trader that I prefer to wait for more confirmation, especially we are in a counter trend market movement, meaning that market is in a very strong downtrend since April. We can see the market has been dropping since April for about 2,000 pips, and there I still do not see any strong buying momentum here. Okay, so okay, a little bit extra for you guys. So what do I mean by buying momentum? Okay, the first criteria is that market doing this kind of pattern, meaning that is a very strong bullish engulfing pattern. But we can see that this bullish engulfing pattern has failed. So meaning that this is also a support zone. If we are looking on the H4 chart, it will be clearer. I just put on the daily chart. If we switch to H4 chart, you will see that this is also actually a support zone. Okay, this is on the H4 chart, meaning that this support zone is no longer valid. So when a support zone is no longer valid, what market need to do is the market need to drop further to seek for more buyers, to seek for people who are willing to buy this pair at a cheaper price. Okay, so we can see the market has now retesting this support zone about 1.86, but I still did not see any significant buying power here because there's a there's a bearish candlestick here. Okay, so what do I mean by significant buying power? So can be two types. Either can be a dominant setup over here, all right. Either can be a dominant setup over here on a daily chart, or we can see that market start to create a higher high and higher low, and this is the point we look for a buy entry when a higher high and a higher low is confirmed. So this is what I mean by a clear signals for me to start to look for a buy trade. Okay, so the next one is Australian Canadian pair. Okay, so Australian Canadian pair, So last week, this is on my last week analysis. Last week, because market is at the resistance zone and we are expecting market to drop because we have seen multiple rejection here. Okay, but this doesn't work out. Okay, because on the Monday we see another bullish engulfing candle here, and market just break out as planned. Okay. So if you look on a daily chart, we can also see that market has break out here, and on the H4 chart, there is a structure breakout. There is a structural breakout over here. So what we can aim for this week on the Australian Canadian pair is that we can wait for market to pull back and we go for a buy trade. Okay, let's see where is the nearest resistance level. So on the chart here, we can see that the nearest resistance level is at here. Okay. Okay. This one is NZD-CAD. For this pair, I still don't see a very clear movement here because market is still in a very choppy market. And although market did a very strong rejection down, but we see that market managed to retrace back to this previous level of resistance here. This is the resistance level that I can see. Let us see on the H4 chart. Okay. On the H4 chart, I still do not see any sell setup here. Okay, I will just keep in view first for this pair unless market shows me a very clear downwards movement and pull back and break the low, meaning that I see this kind of movement on the H4 chart. Okay, and the NZD, New Zealand and Swiss franc. Okay. Market from the daily is a downtrend and we can see that there is a pullback over here. Okay. But market retested this support level and market is now in the resistance level or on the daily chart basis. If on the H4 chart, okay, if you see on the H4 chart, there is a potential for us to go for a sell trade. Okay, we can go for a sell trade over here. Okay, you can put a pending order here about 0.59354, and the target take profit level will be at, we take at least 1 to 1 or 1 to 5 at here, meaning that at the middle of the sideways structure. This is the middle of the sideways structure. Okay, so on this New Zealand franc pair, we can look for a potential sell trade. Okay, so Friendly asked a question. Could you share the reason how Euro Dollar became my favorite pair setup? Okay, this is very subjective. Okay, this because when I just started trading, my first currency pair that I placed an order is actually gold. Okay, the XAU USD. So after I lose few accounts on trading gold, I start to look on this currency pair. So and the first currency pair that I get in touch is the Euro Dollar, and also the Euro Dollar. Also, the Euro Dollar active market time is quite suits me because of my time zone here, the Euro Dollar, and also compare with other dollar pair. I feel that Euro Dollar works better with my trading plan and also my trading setups. Okay, like if we compare the euro dollar, pound dollar with the Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar, we can see that on the daily average movement, euro dollar and pound dollar actually they are higher in the daily trading volume compared to the Aussie dollar and also the New Zealand dollar. So my favorite pair will be the UZ dollar. And also because of the pound dollar, recently there is a very huge market movement, it's quite volatile. So we only trade when there is a very clear market direction. Okay, so there is no specific right or wrong answer for this favorite pair. It's like how familiar are you with the currency pair? Okay, so Elise asked a question on USD ZAR. Okay, let us look on this before we end this session. All right, so for this pair, we can see that okay, there is a uptrend movement. Okay, and on daily chart, we can see a sideways structure over here, and market just breakdown of this sideways structure. Okay, so although that daily is we have a daily very strong uptrend here, but we know that market will not going to be in a trending movement all the time. Market will be trending, correction, and then market will only continue the trend. So let's see whether we can cash some sell setup over here. Okay. If we look on this H4 SNR level, this is also the resistance level or the resistance level that just or the support level that just turned into a resistance level. So for this pair, what we can do is that we can, when markets pull back to this level, we can look for a sell signal or a sell setup, and when to hold or when to exit when market is in the counter trend. When market is in the counter trend condition, meaning that market is in a very strong uptrend, and then market sideways and do a correction or a pullback. Okay, if you look on a daily chart, we know that the ideally market is going to pull back somewhere until around this level, 50 or 61.8. So you can either set or take profit or take profit here, or you can exit your trade here, or you can exit your trade when market shows you a reversal pattern. Meaning that what do I mean by a reversal pattern? So we know that market is in an uptrend and market is going to do a pullback. So what are the reversal patterns that market is likely to do for in order for the market to continue back the previous uptrend? So the first common reversal pattern is that when market shows you a double bottom with a valid breakout. So when market break out on the double bottom, it's time for you to exit the trade. Or when market shows you a head and shoulder pattern, it's time for you to exit the trade. Or the more or when market breaks the previous swing point, and it's time for you to exit the trade. So these are some tips you need to bear in mind when you are trading with a counter trend direction. You need to know that you are trading on a trending market or you are trading on a correction market. Okay, that's why you need to always start analysis from the daily time frame. Then only you narrow down to the lower time frame to place your entry in a very accurate way. Okay, so guys, thank you for attending this week live session. I hope that you guys have learned something new, or you guys have some better insights or some getting you guys more prepared on the coming market. So I will end this session here. So thank you for showing up. So feel free to join our Telegram channel. Okay, we have a Telegram free channel here, and you can just PM me or PM Mason if you need some information about how we do our analysis or how we actually scale down our analysis from the daily time frame down to the H1 time frame or even M30 or even M15. But personally, I will scale down from daily time frame to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so thank you guys for joining tonight. I hope you guys have a very good night and have a very good trading week ahead. Okay, I will see you guys on next week. Thank you.